Welcome to Wisdom and Wealth, the channel dedicated to helping you navigate life's journey with insight and prosperity. We're excited to share wisdom applicable to our lives, especially for those of us over 40 who've gathered a bit of experience along the way. Before we dive in, if you're enjoying the content, do give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing. It really helps us reach more people. We all share a common goal, the pursuit of happiness. If I were to ask you directly, do you desire happiness in your life, what would your response be? I imagine you'd wholeheartedly agree that you yearn for happiness, that sense of peace and well-being. This isn't just your personal aspiration, it's a universal longing shared by all living beings. We all want that serene state, we all need to be at peace. This inherent desire for happiness underscores a fundamental aspect of our existence. Reflect on your own life for a moment. Aren't we perpetually engaged in a quest for happiness? It's a continuous journey, a relentless pursuit. To reiterate, we are on a never-ending journey, always pursuing happiness. Think about it, we're constantly chasing and seeking happiness, yet so often, we find ourselves coming up short. This begs the question, what's the reason we are not finding happiness? Why does true, lasting happiness seem so elusive, despite our tireless efforts to attain it? Do you want to know the answer? Then like this video now. The teachings of the Buddha offer a profound perspective on this conundrum. He suggests that our failure to find true happiness stems from the misguided places we are looking at. Because we are seeking happiness from the external world. We are searching for it in the external world, in possessions, status, and fleeting sensory pleasures, which are very temporary. The Buddha tells us that we seek happiness from sources where true happiness simply doesn't exist. When we derive happiness solely from these external, materialistic sources, we experience fleeting moments of pleasure, yes. But pleasure and happiness are distinct. Pleasure is inherently temporary, offering instant, albeit short-lived, gratification. True happiness, on the other hand, is a long-lasting, profound contentment that resides within ourselves. It's a state of being, a deep sense of fulfillment. As such, the Buddha guides us away from seeking happiness in places where we will not find that lasting contentment. It's like searching for water in a desert, the more you seek, the more disappointed you'll become. Consider subscribing to Wisdom and Wealth for more insights on achieving a fulfilling life. The more you seek happiness from external sources, the more you become frustrated, empty, and unfulfilled. So, does this mean that lasting happiness is unattainable? Will we ever be able to find lasting happiness? The Buddha addresses this very question, assuring us that, yes, we absolutely can find happiness. But how? He answers this in Dharmapad with very impactful teachings. To understand how to achieve that happiness, let's consider the first two verses of the Dhammapada. Buddha says, if one with an impure mind speaks or acts, the suffering will follow him like a cart will following the ox. If with an impure mind one speaks or acts, the suffering will follow him. And in the next verse Buddha says if with a pure mind one speaks or acts, the happiness will follow him like a shadow following a man. That means the happiness and the sadness entirely depends on the purity and the impurity of our mind. When our mind is pure, we can find the happiness. This underscores the critical role of our mental state. Happiness and sadness, contentment and suffering, all these hinge on the purity and impurity of our minds. When our minds are cleansed and pure, we can experience lasting happiness. So, let's find out how we can improve ourselves. So how do we cultivate this purity of mind, enabling us to access the happiness we so desperately seek? Well, the Buddha teaches us there are a lot of things that you can do to make your mind pure. Buddha teaches us a number of practices to purify our minds and unlock this inner reservoir of happiness. Today, I want to share a few key practices that can help you cultivate that happiness in your life. First, embrace the reality of life. This will definitely provide you with more happiness. One of the most important is accepting the reality of life. Life is inherently a tapestry of ups and downs, joys and sorrows, triumphs and setbacks. There will be good days and there will be bad days. Sometimes we have beautiful memories, sometimes we also have miserable memories. No one can escape that duality, that's how life goes. It's not a consistently smooth journey, it's marked by fluctuations, shifting circumstances, and unexpected challenges. When you fully recognize and accept this fundamental truth, you gain the ability to navigate life's inevitable turbulence with greater resilience and equanimity. Realizing this, we can face challenging situations with more success. It's not always the bad experiences themselves that lead to frustration, but rather, our reaction to those experiences. Whenever you face a bad day, a tough situation, or a difficult challenge, you have a choice. You can choose to focus on the pain and misery, allowing yourself to be consumed by negativity. Or, you can choose to focus on the lessons that the bad situation teaches us and learn from it and start growing your life. Alternatively, you can choose to focus on the lessons embedded within the situation. Learn from it, grow from it, and use it as a catalyst for personal development. Remember, life is ever-changing. Things are not temporary. Even the people around us are not always in our control. So, when you realize that you can face those situations successfully, the key is to accept the impermanent nature of life and the limitations of your control. Number 2, the Buddha encourages us to be generous in all aspects of our life. Cultivating generosity is a cornerstone of Buddhist practice. In Buddhism, generosity is known as dana. In dana, the Buddha emphasizes giving without expectations, offering help, support, and resources to others with selfless intentions, without any expectation of something in return. Most of the time we like to hold on to things or gather the things towards us. That is what people thinks. When you gather more, when you collect more things, you will get rich and you will gain happiness. But that does not give you the happiness. It will give you the pleasure, but it is temporary. Too often, we're tempted to hoard possessions, believing that accumulating wealth and material goods will bring happiness. While such accumulation may bring temporary pleasure, it is not to be confused with true happiness. This pleasure is fleeting, a fleeting sensation that quickly fades away, leaving us wanting more. But what we have to do, Buddha says, be generous, give, help others, dedicate a part of your life on behalf of others. When you become more generous, when you see the positive impact of your actions on others, you will experience a profound sense of fulfillment. If you want to further delve into the teachings of the Buddha, then be sure to subscribe. For instance, imagine providing food to a hungry person. Witnessing their relief and the alleviation of their hunger brings a unique sense of joy, a deeper satisfaction that no material possession could ever match. When you become happy like that, you feel happy about yourself, right? Nothing can give you that happiness like by eating a good food, by dressing a nice dress. You cannot gain that happiness. You don't feel happy about yourself right after, let's say, after hundred of years later, maybe 10 decades later, when you think about that incident, I gave this food to this poor person. When you remind that you feel happy, even then you feel happy. That means happiness is long-lasting. So Buddha says, be generous, help people, do something eyes every day for a person. That act of kindness resonates far beyond the immediate moment, and the memory of it continues to bring joy and contentment for years to come. Number 3, we must practice forgiveness for ourselves and for others. Forgiving is one of the most important things that we can do to create happiness in our life. We have to forgive ourselves also. We have to forgive others too. Because forgiving, when you forgive, it doesn't mean that you are saying okay to others' mistakes. It's okay. No, you're not saying like that. When you forgive, you make your heart free. Holding on to resentment, anger, and grudges only poisons your own heart, creating internal suffering and preventing you from experiencing true happiness. When you forgive, it's not for that person, it is for you. And also we have to forgive for ourselves. There are so many mistakes that we all have done in the past. If you hold on to past and if you make this present moment miserable, that will not give you the happiness. We all make mistakes, it's an inherent part of the human experience. To dwell on past mistakes, holding on to guilt and regret, only clouds the present moment and hinders your ability to find happiness. So what do we have to do? Whatever the bad thing that we have done in the past, we have to have this ability to forgive ourselves and start all over again. We all have that ability. Right? We all have that privilege to start our life again and make it a better one. No one is perfect in this world. We all have done mistakes. One thing that we have to do is to forgive and start doing good things. Forgive yourself and embrace the opportunity to start anew, to learn from your errors, and to create a better future. If you liked this video, and think that the Buddhist doctrines are helpful to you, like this video. These are just a few practices that can foster happiness in your life. There is another happiness that is called the ultimate happiness in this world that the Buddha teaches us, that is called nibbana or nirvana, that is the enlightenment. And there is the ultimate form of happiness, nirvana or nibbana. It is achieved by enlightened beings, a state of liberation, enlightenment, and complete freedom from suffering. When you realize about the reality of this life, and when you remove this desire or the craving that arises within your mind, then Buddha says that is the ultimate happiness. Simply, the nibbana means mob, that means removing of the desire, anger, and the delusion of the mind is called the enlightenment. That is the highest level of happiness that we all can reach. So when you practice these practices all right, when you engage yourself in wholesome state, that will create you the happiness in the life. So, embrace these practices, integrate them into your daily life, and take deliberate steps toward cultivating a happier, more fulfilling existence. Remember, it is a journey, not a destination. Consistent effort and mindful application of these teachings will lead you to lasting happiness. If you found this video to be helpful, be sure to subscribe to Wisdom and Wealth for more content. Thanks for watching, and remember to live wisely and prosper.